Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I'm going to go over my questions for the Live Letter 15, which is scheduled to air on June 12th of 2014 at E3 this year. This is not to be confused with the E3 Live Letter, which is airing 2 days earlier on June 10th, also at E3, and will be completely in English, which is something that I definitely welcome. Now, I actually didn't have too many questions for the Live Letter 15, mainly because of the topics, but let's run through them one by one real quick. The first set of questions came together, and they were about the main scenario and Hildebrand. I didn't really have any questions for the main story since, I kind of want the story to continue to surprise me. But Hildebrand, my question has just been, well, a million times over, and that's if we'll be seeing him tied to Gilgamesh again in the future. I'd like to see a Gilgamesh Hard Mode or Gilgamesh Extreme, whatever you want to call it, sooner rather than later, but that's just me. Now, the next topic was Chocobo Raising, which I didn't really have any special questions about. I mean, again, my questions had pretty much already been asked in the forum. Will it require a free company house? How many chocobos can we raise? And what benefits will this have over our grand company chocobo? The only new question I had, and I didn't see this anywhere else, was, will the new two-man chocobo mount be obtained through Chocobo Raising? For those of you who don't know, there was a chocobo mount revealed at the Live Letter 14 in which two people could ride it together. So I had to know if Chocobo Raising and the two-man chocobo mount were somehow tied together. The Crystal Tower was next on the list, and I tried to avoid asking the same generic questions. What item level will the gear be? What bosses are we getting? I mean, I assume these questions are going to be pretty much answered anyway, so I asked, how big will the Crystal Tower floor be in comparison to the Labyrinth of the Ancients? I'm just curious because the art they showed for that thing makes it look pretty massive. I also asked if the 24-man queues will actually be ready for the release of the Crystal Tower floor. They said it would be ready for 2.3 a little while ago, but I need to know. I'm not planning on making one. It's just for the sake of everyone else who's been asking. I'm asking for you guys. Now, the private rooms for housing were next, and I actually had no non-generic questions for this one. I mean, pretty much everyone is wondering, will you need a free company house? Will it have a fee attached to it? And will any of the furniture give you some unique buffs? A lot of those are Final Fantasy XI-esque questions, but my only unique question was in regards of the eventual transition from personal rooms to an actual personal house. And I was wondering if, when personal housing does come out, if it comes out, will I be able to move my furniture from the room to the house, generally stress-free? Specifically wondering about items that, once placed, will be destroyed if you try to remove them. There are some of those items, like the items that come from Titan's Heart and Garuda's Feather, that when you place them and then if you try to take them back up, it says that it will have to destroy the item. So, if the item is destroyed, I probably won't fancy up my personal room too much if the housing is coming soon. But who knows, if the rooms do really well, maybe they'll forego the whole personal housing thing altogether. We'll just have to wait and see. That's, who knows. Now, Frontlines was the last topic, and I'm actually pretty excited about it since I actually really enjoy PvP, but I found grinding out levels in the Wolves' Den to be a pretty stale experience. I mean, I look at the Wolves' Den as a more competitive place, but without ranked teams, it doesn't really give me much pleasure on a 4-on-4 arena format. So with Frontlines being our first real battleground, I guess I'll call it, inspired by Realm vs. Realm vs. Realm in Dark Age of Camelot, and very similar to World vs. World vs. World in Guild Wars 2, I had a few questions for this one. The first was, how long is a match of Frontlines actually expected to take? Is it a 10 to 15 match, like maybe a standard battleground, maybe 20-30 minutes? Or is it closer to maybe Guild Wars' World vs. World vs. World, where the match lasts an entire week? And if the time spent in there is going to greatly exceed the time I have to spend in the Wolves' Den, will the rewards be scaled properly? I'm always worried about scaling when it comes to these longer pieces of content. I feel like they've had a problem with this in the past, and that's why people do speedruns, really, because the reward scaling for doing the entire dungeon just isn't as good as just doing the first two bosses for the mythology in the case of the last patch. So, I just need to know if I'm going to be spending the same amount of time in Frontlines as the Wolves' Den, am I going to be given my marks and my EXP based on match wins or based on time invested? I just have to know those kind of things. And my last question was, will there be any PvE incentives to participating, such as tombstones or Alexandrite? Listen, I know this is PvP and a lot of people are the whole, separate, don't give PvE rewards to PvP and vice versa. But let's be honest here, Final Fantasy games are known for their strong player versus environment experiences. They don't really have a history of strong PvP. So some form of incentive for those to try it out and do it more often would be appreciated. I don't know about you guys, but I would like to do my tombstone cap on soldiery in Frontlines if I could, and binding coil. But We'll just have to wait and see what it ends up being. Now that's all I have for the live letter 15, but let's not forget about the live letter E3. Of course, everyone is excited for the reveal of the new jobs at E3, mainly for a thief ninja type job as well as a gun type job, which most people think will be Corsair or even a gun mage, maybe blue bullet kind of mage. My question is mainly, how will these jobs provide unique experiences over the other jobs that are currently in the game? I mean, I can imagine the dagger-like job would be more of a combo point type system. I know it's been done before, but just what I'm thinking off the top of my head, obviously with experiences with other MMOs, and they could track the combo points on your buff bar, similar to the way they track Greased Lightning and the way they track Aether Flow stacks and things like that. But I just really want to know what would draw a player away and what kind of really archetype they're going for here, because being auto-attacking fast and stabbing things is cool and all, but there needs to be a gameplay element behind it. Monk has the combo system, they have the whole Greased Lightning and stance swapping, Bard has the whole simplicity and moving on the go, Black Mage does big numbers all the time, Summoner does damage over time. You know, everything has its own unique playstyle, and I want to know what those playstyles or how they're going to be projected onto these new jobs that they're planning on introducing soon. But enough about my questions. What kind of questions do you guys have for Yoshi-P? Be sure to stop by the forums and ask them. You just never know when one of them's actually going to get answered. Links to the live letter E3 and live letter 15 are posted in the description below. To the forums for those things, let me be more specific. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this video, and check out the rest of the videos on my channel. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, or follow me on Twitch, where I do live stream. Gonna be live streaming some Final Fantasy III a little bit later today. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.